The disabled tyrant's beloved pet fish. Transmigration. Chapter 76. Liu wasn't really afraid of enduring hardships. He already planned to share happiness and sorrows with Jingwang. After transmigrating into the novel, other than the trouble he faced when he landed into a cat's mouth at the very beginning, most of the time, Liu has been carefully raised and spoiled by Jingwang. Now he was only switching to a more impoverished environment with Jingwang. It's not a big deal. In this time period, he actually didn't have a home. Jingwang was the one who gave him a place to stay. Liu remembered a very impactful phrase and said with a smile, "To me, my home is wherever your highness is." Jingwang didn't expect him to say something like this. With his eyes misting over, Jingwang fondly caressed Liu's cheek. Liu thought that Jingwang would feel utterly touched and allow Liu to follow him to the west frontier. Then, the for better or worse quest that Liu had almost forgotten and put to the back of his mind would complete itself naturally. However, although Jingwang felt touched, he still staunchly refused. "Liu. Why was this too difficult?" Such beautiful heartfelt words didn't manage to win Jingwang over. It's not likely you could continue to sell tofu. He got it. Liu had a brilliant idea. His man was a very responsible person. With a sullen face, Liu whined, "Your Highness, I'm already carrying your flesh and blood. Do you still plan to leave me behind?" Jingwang. No matter how resolute Jingwang was, this statement still shocked him to the core. Looking at the person feigning embarrassment in his arms, Jingwang unconsciously felt that even his soul was floating far away. If he remembered correctly, he never did it to the very end with Xiaoyu before. Also, Xiaoyu was a man. If a normal man told him that he was pregnant, Jingwang would have definitely laughed it off. However, Jingwang was very aware that Xiaoyu wasn't a normal person, was instead a Carpiao. Therein lies the problem. Perhaps Carpiao were different from a typical man and could get pregnant? Jingwang was willing to believe Liu. If Xiaoyu said he was pregnant, then he was pregnant. However, Xiaoyu was a fish and Jingwang was a human. So would the baby be a fish or a human? It would be great if they were human. If they were fish. Jingwang carefully placed his palm on Liu's stomach. Regardless of which, their child was inside here. He definitely won't refuse to accept them. Liu was only messing with Jingwang. Although the two of them never did it until the very end, they did pretty much tried everything else at least once. This could be counted as physical intimacy, so Liu refused to allow Jingwang to leave him behind. Unexpectedly though, Jingwang took his joke seriously and even kept on touching his stomach. Liu didn't know if he should laugh or cry. Who would believe this kind of nonsense? However, the great Jingwang just happened to believe it. Now the misunderstanding has gone out of control. Once Jingwang got serious, who knows, he might even give names to the little fish babies already. Liu hastily came clean and admitted, "I'm sorry, Your Highness. I lied. I'm not pregnant. I was just teasing with you." Fish's stomach only had fish food and peach blossom cookies, not babies. Jingwang raised disappointed eyes to him, "So there's none." Upon seeing such a devastated expression, Liu felt as if his heart was being pierced through. He hugged Jingwang tightly as he shakily said, "Your Highness, I'm a man, how could I? I'm sorry. I shouldn't have joked about this kind of thing. I only want to be together with you. I hate to be separated from you for even a moment. Please don't be angry at me. It was just a joke." After Jingwang realized it, he made an exasperated face. Since he refused to bring Fish along, Fish pretended that he was pregnant. He really didn't know what to do with Fish. Jingwang didn't get angry that he was given false hope. He rubbed Liu's head. Forget it. The situation in the imperial city was complicated. If he left Xiao Yu here, he wouldn't be able to take care of him. Moreover, if Xiao Yu didn't mind going with him, why should he? Jingwang finally decided to bring Xiao Yu along. However, he didn't directly nod his head either. Nevertheless, Li Yu knew that his troublesome pestering worked because the system, which didn't have much presence lately, gave a mission update notification at this time. The main mission for better or worse is currently advancing. Host, please be careful on your journey. Looked like going to the west frontier was the right direction. The main mission presumably will be completed at the west frontier. Because of the system's notification, Li Yu recalled the protagonist's halo that the system talked about before. Lately, he got too involved in the situation and was too focused on worrying about Jingwang that he completely forgot that it was destined for Jingwang to become the next emperor. Your Highness, no matter how many dangers and hardships there are in the future, you don't need to worry. You will definitely achieve your wishes. I will also accompany you. Li Yu said confidently with a smile. Gazing at Li Yu deeply, Jingwang nodded his head and then pulled this fish, who had turned his entire life upside down, into his arms. Ganking Palace. The emperor, who was wearing a golden dragon robe, was currently looking expressionlessly at the longevity painting of the red-crowned crane and peaches of immortality that was hanging on the wall. It was unknown what he was thinking about. After a long time passed, the emperor looked up and asked the person beside him, "How is he?" Head steward Luo had been following the emperor this entire time. Naturally he knew who the emperor meant with that he. Immediately, Luo Ruisheng replied, His Highness Jingwang had a tranquil and calm expression. He went to Changchun Palace and lit 3 incense sticks for the late empress. Then, he left the palace and returned to his estate. This servant hears that the Jing estate has already started packing up. The emperor nodded his head and was pretty satisfied with Jingwang's behavior. This son of his have never traveled far away before. The emperor was worried about Jingwang's safety and said to Luo Ruisheng, "Send 2 squads of imperial guards to follow and protect him in secret." Luo Ruisheng acknowledged this order. The emperor stared at head steward Luo for a while and suddenly said, "Do you think I'm cruel? The gifts that Jingwang gave to me clearly were my favorites. Yet I dispatched him to the west frontier." This was just what Luo Ruisheng was thinking in his heart. However, how could he dare to admit it? Immediately, he replied, "How can this servant dare to be so presumptuous about your Majesty's decision? Your Majesty must have your own reasoning. This servant merely does as he was ordered. It best be like this." The emperor smiled. Even if others misunderstand, so what? He didn't care. Jingwang's gifts were his favorites. Because of these gifts, the emperor also caught a glimpse of Jingwang's ambition to advance. Jingwang had only given him the same word of blessing for many years after all and forever treated the emperor coldly and indifferently before. This was almost an unspoken understanding between the emperor and Jingwang. However, all of a sudden, Jingwang also learned to express goodwill towards the emperor. What did this indicate? The emperor didn't need to think too much. If you must know, the emperor arrived at where he was currently in the same way. How could he not understand? Jingwang probably had plans to fight for the throne. The emperor has not given anyone the title of crown prince so far. For an adult prince to have such plans wasn't really strange. The emperor was very well aware of this. If the second prince and the third prince didn't make mistakes before, the emperor would have happily given them a chance. However, this time, it was Jingwang. The emperor felt an unexpected but also an unspeakable sorrow and bitterness. In terms of identity and status, no one was more justified to be the crown prince than Jingwang. However, because he was mute, Jingwang lost the qualifications a long time ago. The emperor had always thought that Jingwang and himself had both accepted this misfortune. However, it looks like now, Jingwang wasn't resigned to such fate. Didn't this stinking brat know that he wouldn't make a mute the crown prince? Since this was the case, why still struggle? If this was before, the emperor would have considered it to be a huge joke. However, when the emperor looked down during his birthday banquet and saw the insane second prince and the third prince who continued to be in cohorts with court officials even in his confinement, the both of them continued to touch his bottom line. The only adult princes left to consider was the sixth prince. Although the emperor had already decided to not settle on a crown prince yet, and planned to wait and see the seventh and eighth prince's capabilities in the future, the two little princes were much too young. It was very hard to say what will happen in the future. What if the sixth prince was also not suitable? Was he really not going to consider Jingwang at all? Jingwang was a mute. However, in comparison, this really wasn't all that important considering the availability of his capable sons. In terms of passing down the bloodline, although the imperial physician said it was extremely likely for Jingwang's condition to pass on to his offspring, it wasn't completely set in stone. Jingwang still had a chance to have normal children. The emperor thought silently. He had 8 sons. Only one was mute. No matter how bad Jingwang's condition was, if Jingwang had 8 sons, at least one would be normal, right? In other words, Jingwang wasn't completely without qualifications. If his disability was disregarded, in comparison to the sixth prince and even the second prince before he got sick, then Jingwang really wasn't bad. After the emperor shockingly thought this through, he felt somewhat excited actually. He wanted to see just how far Jingwang could go. Just being not bad wasn't enough. If he were to pick a mute son as the next ruler, this son must have qualities that surpassed all others. The West Frontier was chaotic and troubled with the turmoil of war. It was also filled with constant disasters. Originally, the emperor planned to use it as a place to polish the future crown prince. Since there was no crown prince currently, if Jingwang wanted to fight for the throne, then let Jingwang go. If Jingwang failed here, then in the future, he'd naturally give up his ambition and spend the rest of his life quietly. However, if Jingwang were able to conquer the West Frontier, this tough bone. Your Majesty, His Highness Jingwang already set out on his journey. Luo Ruisheng reported quietly. The emperor was pondering deeply and didn't actually answer. Luo Ruisheng was afraid his voice was too soft and repeated himself again. The emperor suddenly came to. He ordered Luo Ruisheng to go find the sixth prince. He also had an assignment to give to the sixth prince. If any of the other princes managed to settle the West Frontier, the emperor would have considered making them the crown prince. If Jingwang could do it, then the emperor would also consider it as well. In front of the Jing estate, Jingwang already agreed to bring Li Yu with him. The guards, carriages, and luggage were all prepared. There were about 10 extra crystal bottles prepared as well. The fish food and fish tanks filled several carts. In terms of hardships, Jingwang would starve everyone else first before he would starve his own fish. Everything was ready. Young Master Li, however, faced the upcoming journey with some frustration and anxiety. This wasn't comparable to Jingwang bringing him out shopping or him asking Jingwang to buy antiques. He could endure that in human form. For this journey, Jingwang already calculated things beforehand. Even if the travel as fast as possible, the journey would take up to a month. With normal traveling speed, it probably would take 2.5 months before they would reach their destination. Most of the time on this trip, Li Yu had to be kept inside the carriage, eating, drinking and living together with Jingwang. Being kept inside a carriage or eating, drinking and living together with Jingwang, Li Yu had no problems with either of these in fish form. However, it wasn't possible in human form because he can only maintain human form for 2 hours every day. If he had to stay with Jingwang all day without any distance, how was fish supposed to transform? Even if he somehow solved the problem of transforming, what was young Master Li supposed to do during the trip? Could he constantly disappear without farewell every day? Once the carriage started advancing, there would be guards all over. If young Master Li really left, he would be seen by the guards. But in actuality, young Master Li would only be pretending and not leave at all. Once this truth was discovered, Li Yu's disguise would pretty much collapse. Therefore, the most proper way to go through this was to avoid transforming into human form during the trip and only interact with Jingwang as a fish. However, Li Yu, this idiot, completely lost his mind over sharing happiness and sorrows. Without even thinking about it, he used his human form to beg Jingwang to bring him. This was really a case of lying too much and accidentally revealing the truth. Li Yu was extremely frustrated. But he asked for this himself, so he couldn't go back on his words. Jingwang must bring young Master Li along on this trip. He was definitely going to stay with young Master Li all day and eat young Master Li's tofu. Didn't this mean that becoming exposed was the only path left for young Master Li? Young Master Li. Li Yu thought non-stop until they had to leave, but still couldn't come up with a plan. Wang Shi finished preparing the carriage and invited Li Yu to get in. Head full of worries, Li Yu carried the crystal bottle and climbed into the carriage, almost slipping and falling. Luckily, Jingwang had sharp eyes and quick hands and caught him. Seeing Jingwang was also about to get into the carriage, Li Yu could practically see the countdown for when he was about to lose his disguise. He felt endlessly apprehensive. Not long afterwards, Jingwang jumped onto the carriage. He looked at Li Yu and made certain that Li Yu was comfortable. Li Yu was bad at hiding his worry. Jingwang saw his apprehensive appearance clearly. With a soft smile, Jingwang exited the carriage. Li Yu. Jingwang didn't get into the carriage again. Instead, he got on a horse and rode beside the carriage. Li Yu was puzzled. Was Jingwang not going to sit in the carriage with him? He lifted a corner of the window curtain and wanted to find someone to ask. He discovered that Wang Shi was also outside. Wang Gong, what's going on? Wang Shi was also going to the west frontier. Furthermore, Wang Gong was riding a donkey and also following along outside, not planning to get in the carriage. Young master, please sit tight. Wang Shi saw Li Yu sticking his head out and hastily requested Li Yu to sit back. He held back a smile and said, His Highness has ordered to allocate this carriage for your personal use only. Since you are pregnant, His Highness fears that you might feel suffocated on the road. You just worry about resting and taking care of Master Fish along the way. If you need anything, just call. This servant is following right outside. Although Wang Shi said this, he was secretly laughing inside. How could men get pregnant? Young Master Li and Jingwang must be playing a romantic game between themselves. Wang Gong was happy to play along. Li Yu. Li Yu shot a glare at Jingwang from afar. Jingwang looked back with a smile. No matter how Li Yu interpreted this smile, it looked eye-piercing. Li Yu thought to himself, so, the big scoundrel was waiting for him here. However, to be honest, Jingwang was very considerate towards him. Was he afraid that if there was someone else in the carriage, then Li Yu might feel crowded? In any case, if he was all alone in one carriage, then there was no need for Li Yu to worry about being exposed. In order to maintain his disguise, young Master Li had no choice but to sulkily pretend to be pregnant. End chapter. The disabled tyrant's beloved pet fish. Transmigration. Chapter 77. Li Yu passed a chaotic and heart-stopping period of time that consisted of all sorts of attempts to maintain his disguise. Jingwang pitied him for having never traveled far before. Whenever they passed any small towns along their journey, they'd always stay at the inn for a few days. He would bring Li Yu along to roam the streets around and sample the local delicacies from time to time. Jingwang would wait until Li Yu rested enough before continuing on their way. Because they were traveling, they brought a lot of dried food along with them. At first, Wang Gong prepared a lot of snacks and meat jerky, but they were all eaten after a few days. In human form, Li Yu quickly got tired of eating dried food after eating the same thing consecutively for a few times. However, he could change back into a fish. Fish could always eat fish food. Jingwang also took him to eat delicious meals every so often, as well as ordering Wang Shi to purchase little snacks from the towns along the way. Li Yu, who continued to be carefully cherished, felt like he didn't actually suffer much hardship at all. Whenever they needed to stop in the middle of nowhere, they would set up tents along the way. Li Yu would abandon the comfortable carriage and sleep together with Jingwang in thick fur blankets. Li Yu, this fish, once he got a certain idea, he became a completely shameless little imp. Pestering Jingwang for intimacy, Li Yu stated that the wilderness held a different kind of appeal. Jingwang often couldn't persuade him otherwise and would just go along with him. The two people embraced as they listened to the wind blowing outside of the tent, feeling each other's excited heartbeats. If young Master Li didn't have to dive into the carriage with disheveled clothes in the end, it would have been even better. Certain segments of the journey were over completely desolate wilderness. Li Yu was bored senseless and started to develop a new skill. He attempted to find some wild vegetables on the hillside and always found piles and piles of them. He also attempted to dig for sweet potatoes, and always dug up a pile at a time as well. In comparison to Wang Shi, who came back empty-handed, Li Yu returned each time with a bountiful harvest, not even capable of carrying everything he found with both hands, making Wang Shi extremely envious. When they encountered a river, Li Yu's luck was also very good. He only needed to stand at an area with slow-flowing water and lightly pat the stones there. Plenty of shrimps, crabs, and loaches would start crawling out from underneath. Sometimes, there would even be fish. However, Li Yu no longer ate fish, so he'd release the fish back into the water. The shrimps, crabs, and whatever that were left can be eaten by simply boiling them in water, which maintain their natural taste. As Wang Shi praised Li Yu in admiration, he insisted on taking over the task of cooking, firmly not allowing Li Yu to do it himself. Li Yu thought it was strange. When he cooked in the kitchens of the Jing estate, Wang Shi never stopped him before. How come he couldn't do so this time? The usually sharp-tongued Wang Gonggong started to stammer at Li Yu's questioning. As for the reason, it was of course because he was afraid that young Master Li's culinary skills would ruin all of the food they've scavenged. However, His Highness had ordered that no one was allowed to mention young Master Li's lack of culinary skills. Wang Shi was very cautious. Li Yu asked several times but didn't even get any hints at all. This was only a small matter though. Li Yu swiftly threw it to the back of his mind. For him, being able to find the different ingredients for their meal was a more practical skill than cooking. By this time, Li Yu also became aware that he was very lucky in terms of finding food. Li Yu finally understood. The luck points that the system gave him for food and clothing weren't indicating that he'd have outstanding culinary skills, but rather that he would always be successful in terms of searching for food, and perhaps searching for clothes in the future. For a while, Li Yu cursed the shitty system for always shifting fish's good luck on some random ways. But then he also spent some time rejoicing the fact that a koi who's very lucky in finding food meant he won't have to starve in the future. Thinking about it carefully, Li Yu realized that actually, other than the time when he starved himself, he really has not ever missed a meal before. 2 months later, they finally reached a small town in the west frontier called the Lufeng town. This was where the temporary residence that the emperor had chosen for Jingwang. The mayor of Lufeng town already received a secret order from his superiors to prepare an appropriate residence for Jingwang and his entourage. It was the best residence in the area and it was already completely cleaned. Jingwang brought Li Yu over to take a look. It was called an estate by actually, it was just a house with 2 courtyards. It obviously couldn't compare to the enormous Jing estate. Li Yu often lived in the fish tank, so he didn't really care about the size of the residence. Jingwang silently rubbed fish's head. In his eyes, if it was not as good as the Jing estate, then it was equivalent to making Xiao Yu suffer. Furthermore, because the journey was long, the crystal fish tank could not be transported. What Jingwang had brought were some smaller fish tanks that fish often used. Jingwang even felt that this was being unfair to Xiaoyu, even though Xiaoyu himself didn't have any complaint at all. On this trip, Jingwang also brought plenty of imperial guards, as well as servants. 2 courtyards weren't enough for all of them. Wang Shi had a great idea and used some silver to buy the neighboring residences as well until there were enough space for all of their people to live in. Although the residence had been cleaned already, it didn't change the fact that it was old. Wang Shi originally planned to renovate it somewhat and also to enlarge the main courtyard as well. However, Jingwang shook his head. They came this time on imperial orders. It's best to avoid doing too many things outside of the royal decree. Once Liu reached the new territory, he checked around each and every room of the residence. He saw that his fish tank was still placed in Jingwang's main room. This room was a lot smaller than the one in Jing Estate. It was also filled with ordinary furniture. There's not even enough space to turn. Liu instinctively felt that it wouldn't be very convenient for young Master Li to transform. He was just about to say something when Jingwang ordered Wang Shi to clean up the room next to his and make it available for young Master Li to stay in. Young Master Li won't be living together with you, Your Highness. Wang Shi didn't get it, or perhaps it could be said that he was too surprised. His master rode on a horse this entire trip and didn't sit in the carriage, leaving the carriage alone for young Master Li. This was already enough pampering. Was he even going to sleep separately from young Master Li? Was he that engrossed in their play pretend of young Master Li's pregnancy? Jingwang gave Wang Shi a cool glance. The area is too small. Young Master Li won't be able to sleep well. Wang Shi. Originally, the room next door was supposed to be Jingwang's study. Since Jingwang insisted, Wang Shi couldn't say anything more. Very quickly, he tidied it up for Liu. Liu was very embarrassed, but he couldn't say anything. After all, it is really something that young Master Li couldn't say. Since the new residence wasn't big, Jingwang set a few new rules. The personal servants who came with him to Lufeng town didn't have to come over to serve him at night. Except for the imperial guards who were on duty in shifts, each one would take care of themselves. Young Master Li, I will hand over His Highness's care to you. Pulling on Liu's hands, Wang Shi gave him a whole bunch of instructions and reminded him repeatedly until Wang Gonggong was chased away by Jingwang to go get his own rest. Therefore, Wang Shi could only leave everything to Liu. With a reddened face, Liu promised he would do his best. Deep inside though, he actually felt a bit excited. After Wang Shi left, Liu awkwardly poured some hot water into a bronze basin in an unskilled manner. After thinking for a bit, he added some cold water and mixed them up until the water felt lukewarm and brought it over to Jingwang. Your Highness, you should first wash your face and hands. Liu didn't really know how to care for someone else, so he just followed his own usual habits. He already brushed his own hair and took out the hairpin. He tied his hair, which had been growing longer and longer, casually into a bun behind his head so it didn't fall into his face and prick his eyes. Jingwang really liked Liu's simple, domestic look. He held Liu's hands and placed them inside the warm water together, gently rubbing and pressing the center of the other's palms. Liu couldn't be any more familiar with water. Cupping the water with both hands, he poured it over the back of Jingwang's hands. Jingwang smiled and the two of them unconsciously started to play with the water for a while. Liu silently cursed, "Crap, I forgot about the time again." He secretly glanced at the silver hourglass that he had brought over from the Jing estate. This hourglass perfectly calculated the time of his transformation skill. Liu swiftly estimated the remaining time. It was enough for a bath. Your Highness, do you want to bathe? I can help you wash your back. Liu blurted out. After he asked, he felt like he was acting stupid. They just finished washing their hands and now he was asking about bathing. He was a fish and soaked in the water all day. He really couldn't be all that dirty. However, Jingwang had been traveling on horseback for 2 months. On the road, he could only wash while they stayed in the inns. Liu was only worried that Jingwang must be feeling uncomfortable. Jingwang also knew his intent. With a smile, he nodded his head. Afraid of making Liu work unnecessarily, Jingwang walked over to the bathtub himself. Wang Shi left plenty of hot water. Jingwang saw Liu pouring water into the bronze basin earlier. This time, he firmly refused to let Liu pick up the kettle again. As Jingwang tested the temperature of the water, he began to fill it himself. "Your Highness, I can scrub your back for you." Eyes shining bright like crystals, Liu placed a towel on his arm. Jingwang narrowed his eyes and secretly glanced towards the silver hourglass. There should be enough time. Jingwang suddenly reached out and pulled Liu into the bathtub. "Your Highness, what are you doing?" Being suddenly plunged into hot water, Liu got quite a scare. With a smile, Jingwang pressed him against the side of the bathtub. His Highness didn't only want to have his back scrubbed. He also wanted to eat fish. This bath left Liu with crimson red cheeks and lingering pleasure at the corners of his eyes. Sitting on a chair, he restlessly kicked and swung his legs. Jingwang helped him put on a snow-white inner robe made of silk. Then he dried Liu's damp hair and fixed it again. Liu, who suddenly realized that he was the one receiving care instead. Forget it, fish won't argue over trivial matters. Throwing away the towel, Liu stepped on the back of Jingwang's feet with a smile. He didn't put on socks yet and there was still some water remaining on his feet, but just like this, he nudged the top of Jingwang's feet. Stepping on one wasn't even enough, he had to step on the other as well. Jingwang. Liu knew he was playing with fire. The two of them already had been dating for almost half a year now, their feelings had gradually deepened. He followed Jingwang from the Jing estate to move into this impoverished courtyard. Yet everything still felt quite sweet. Didn't this mean that their relationship can advance a little more? In any case, the 3 basic rules that were established originally weren't because Liu didn't want to do it, but rather because he was afraid of changing back to a fish midway and exposed his secret. Fact was, it wasn't as if there wasn't a way around his limited transformation time. Now that he has an extremely accurate timer, he can completely split their bedroom activity into 2 halves. For example, he can arrange the transformation to be in the middle of the night, close to midnight. When the sand from the hourglass is almost gone, he could use bathroom break as an excuse to return to the other room and turn back into a fish. Then he only needed to wait for a moment for it to be the next morning and he could transform again. In simple terms, he just needed to put 2 transformations close together, one after the other. Plus, nighttime was the perfect opportunity for bedroom activities. Hard work paid off. Fish even came up with this kind of smart idea. He definitely needed to give it a try. In the last couple of months, Jingwang had been a total vegetarian. He was about to become a monk. Liu secretly attempted to seduce Jingwang several times, but Jingwang was a stickler to details in terms of agreements, not even trying to enter the door. Liu was extremely suspicious that if they continued to boil like this, he might also become a monk. Really, what was he thinking making those 3 basic rules at the beginning? It was now biting him the ass. Liu, arg. Fish really wanted to do it. Liu randomly nudged Jingwang's feet until Jingwang felt like he couldn't take it anymore. He got up and took a step, wanting to figure out clearly what this fish wanted. Liu was stepping on him with both feet and seemed to be in a daze. Losing his balance, Liu almost fell over. Jingwang hastily reached out to support him. Liu took the chance to drape himself over Jingwang. Rubbing his eyes, he pretended to be extremely drowsy. Jingwang picked up the misbehaving fish, walked to the bed and put Liu down gently. Liu swiftly clung to him, grabbing and refusing to let him go. Although they just finished bathing, he knew the other was actually suppressing his desire and was not relieved yet. Despite strictly abiding to their 3 basic rules for so long, Liu still knew how to arouse the other's interest. Quickly, Jingwang got into the mood. The two of them simultaneously glanced at the silver hourglass with the corners of their eyes to check the time. After being intimate for a while, Liu felt like he was almost about to be successful. As usual, Jingwang let him go. However, Liu didn't say any goodbyes. Instead, he suggested in a tiny voice, "Your Highness, just wait for me for a bit." Jingwang froze. Liu winked at him mischievously and then gave him what Liu considered to be an extremely flirty look. He planned to rush into the other room and make preparations. At this time, something unexpected happened. Outside of the house, someone shouted loudly, "Your Highness, look out." Immediately afterwards, Liu and Jingwang both heard the sound of swords clashing. The two silently exchanged gazes. Who would have expected that a little town in the west frontier 1,000 miles away from the imperial city would also have assassins? Liu wasn't mentally prepared at all. Not to mention, his transformation limit was almost up. For a second, he froze, not knowing what to do. Jingwang responded much faster than him. Immediately, he rushed over like an arrow and dragged back Liu, who had almost reached the door. Half pushing and half carrying Liu, Jingwang moved him behind a wardrobe. "Hide here and don't move." Jingwang nodded his head towards Liu. He himself waited until the noises became louder outside the room, then pulled out his sword and charged out. The west frontier was already a chaotic place being plagued by war. However, no one lived in this courtyard before. As soon as Jingwang moved in, assassins appeared. What a coincidence! Jingwang naturally felt like they came targeting him. Nevertheless, he still needed to go out. Altogether, there weren't many houses in this courtyard. If he didn't go out, some assassins might try to sneak in. Then, Xiaoyu would be in danger. If he went out and put up a fight, at least Xiaoyu would be safe. Jingwang went out the door and immediately closed it behind him. Composing himself, he saw the guards were currently fighting with a group of masked men in black clothes. Temporarily, it was hard to tell who was winning. Jingwang kicked away an attacking assassin and entered the fray. Sure enough, the men in black were originally searching the houses. After seeing Jingwang appearing himself, they immediately stopped their search. More than half of the men in black centered their attacks on Jingwang. Outside was full of fighting and yelling. Liu spun in circles in worry inside the room. How could he hide by himself? Jogging stealthily under the window, he pushed open the window. Through a small opening, he saw Jingwang manage to join with his guards and was fighting with the masked men in black. Instantly, Liu felt a lot more relieved. After confirming his highness' situation, he looked around the surroundings in all directions. Unexpectedly, he accidentally caught sight of someone drawing a bow in the distance. Liu knew that things were not looking good. Who knew if Jingwang would be able to dodge it? His heart was burning with anxiety. Liu swept his gaze around the room. His eyes lit up. There was that bronze wash basin in the room. Liu then took a glance at the silver hourglass and clenched his jaw. He still had a little time. As long as he moved quickly enough, it would be fine. Liu grabbed the bronze basin and placed it in front of himself like a shield. Then, he pushed open the door and sprinted out wildly. "Your Highness, watch out for the archer!" Liu yelled loudly. As soon as his voice sounded, an arrow shot towards Jingwang. Liu can only scream loudly. Jingwang calmly leaned his head to the side and evaded this arrow. The next moment, Liu jumped over and used the bronze basin to block in front of Jingwang. The fear was only for a second. The hands that Liu used to hold the bronze basin were even trembling. However, Liu quickly composed himself. He was also a man. He knew that Jingwang went out to protect him. He wasn't scared of death though. He also wanted to protect Jingwang. At about the same time, Wang Shi arrived with more imperial guards. There were also plenty of other people continuously rushing over their place from nearby. The masked men in black were gradually surrounded. Seeing the poor turn of events, they started trying to escape. Jingwang swiped a bow and arrows from Wang Shi's hands, placed an arrow on the notch and drew back on the bow. Without even aiming, he hit someone. It was the person who shot the secret arrow earlier. The men in black were quickly surrounded by the imperial guards. There shouldn't be any more danger. Liu ran over and hugged Jingwang tightly. Before, he was afraid of blood. Right now, Jingwang was covered in blood, yet Liu didn't care at all. Not only did he not care, he even started to laugh heartily. For a moment, he had imagined what would happen if Jingwang was hit by that arrow. In comparison to his fear for assassins, Liu was even more afraid of losing Jingwang. He wished that the two of them could both live happily and safely together. As Liu realized this change of heart, he heard the system notification at the same time indicating that the for better or worse task was completed. Liu smiled smugly. He was just about to praise himself a little when his smile stiffened on his face. Fuck, the time limit was up. Liu had no time to speak with Jingwang and started to rush back into the house. The instant that he pushed open the door, Liu heard the terrifying sound of a bow being drawn again. Young master, look out! Wang Shi hastily yelled loudly. However, he was far away and couldn't lend any assistance at all. Liu's eyes widened. He didn't even have time to look behind him. Seeing the arrow was almost about to hit Liu, Jingwang leaped and tackled him into the room. The two of them fell to the floor in unison and dodged that arrow. Protected securely under Jingwang's body, Liu felt some tears gather at the corner of his eyes. Your Highness, Liu choked out. He didn't even manage to express his thanks as the very next second, he turned back into a hopping and flailing fish right in front of Jingwang's eyes. End chapter. The disabled tyrant's beloved pet fish. Transmigration. Chapter 78. Liu's head went completely blank. He actually transformed right in front of Jingwang just like this. How was he supposed to explain this properly? Slap Jingwang unconscious and then tell him that it was all a dream? Don't even think about it. In terms of fighting strength, he was no match for Jingwang in fish form nor in human form. His disguise wasn't something he can put back on now that it's been stripped from him. Liu even forgot to jump back into the fish tank and remained flopping nervously inside his fallen clothes. What would Jingwang do now that he discovered the young Master Li was fish? He would probably immediately think that young Master Li was a carpio, right? Liu heard that in ancient times, people used fire to deal with Yao. He didn't want to become a roasted fish. Liu only focused on screaming non-stop internally. He forgot that inside the room, there was another person other than himself and Jingwang who was the assassin that shot the arrow at Liu earlier. Originally, this person was injured and escaped into the house in the confusion. Seeing the scene of a person transforming into a live fish right before their eyes, this person was so astonished that they became speechless. Jingwang swiftly got up. First, he kicked the door closed and locked out Wang Shi and the others who were rushing over from outside the room. Then, he approached the assassin and knocked the other unconscious with one swing of his hand. After dealing with the assassin, Jingwang turned his head and glanced at the carpio. Xiao Yu was still foolishly flailing, as if he was completely dumbfounded. Jingwang sighed internally. He did his best, but now that it had become like this, Jingwang also didn't know how to clean up this mess. Perhaps he should first try to gauge the carpio's feelings. Jingwang was also afraid that this fish would lack water soon. He needed to put fish back into the water immediately. Liu's brain had already turned to paste in this chaos. Seeing Jingwang moving back and forth, Liu didn't respond at all. When Jingwang appeared in front of fish once again, Fish finally refocused. Was Jingwang about to capture him? Liu didn't dare to move at all. The room was tiny. He was definitely within the other's grasp. No matter where he tried to hide, it would be useless. Moreover, he couldn't leave the water for too long. Even if he tried running away, he can only escape into the fish tank that Jingwang made for him. What to do? Fish was about to become a dead fish. Fish body was completely stiff. Liu allowed Jingwang to pick him up from the ground. Liu resisted using his tail to smack Jingwang. At a time like this, Liu still couldn't bear to hurt his boyfriend's face. No, wait. The boyfriend might not be his boyfriend very soon. Jingwang discovered that Liu was fish. It's hard to say if Jingwang would still want him. Just yesterday, Jingwang still treated him like a pampered pet. Perhaps today, Jingwang was going to treat him like a carpio and set him on fire. The more Liu thought about it, the more his confidence dwindled away. Jingwang supported Fish with his palm. Liu didn't wrap his tail around him as usual. Instead, he despairingly stretched out straight. He would be straightened out pretty soon anyways when he gets skewered and roasted. Thoughts turning and twisting, Liu allowed Jingwang to skewer, to put Fish into the closest crystal bottle. Liu was immensely shocked. Was Jingwang not about to kill Fish? Entering the water, Liu quietly observed for a while. Jingwang only looked at him solemnly and didn't seem to have any intentions of grabbing Liu. Liu carefully swam around a bit. Jingwang still didn't have any extraordinary reaction. Is your highness all right? How is young Master Li? Does anyone get injured? Wang Shi yelled loudly outside. There was still an assassin inside the room. It's unknown if young Master Li got injured or not, but the master actually closed the door. Why's that? Right now, Liu was sensitive to any and all noises. When Wang Shi smacked on the door, Liu jumped in fear and sank to the bottom like a rock. Oh, was it too late to play dead now? Jingwang. Jingwang glanced helplessly at the fish who was trying to play dead. He couldn't speak, so it was difficult for him to express anything. Jingwang thought for a while. Then he put his finger into the crystal bottle and rubbed the little fish's head, trying to comfort him. Liu. If Wang Shi didn't receive any response soon, he would probably start charging in. Jingwang picked up the unconscious assassin, opened the door and walked out. Immediately, he closed the door behind him and didn't give anyone the chance to look at what was going on inside. Exiting the room, Jingwang's handsome face immediately darkened. He killed the assassin with one stab of his sword and tossed the body to the floor. Since Xiao Yu was afraid of seeing him kill people, Jingwang allowed this assassin, who dared to attempt to harm Xiao Yu, to live a little longer. Moreover, Xiao Yu's identity must definitely remain a secret. Wang Shi promptly ordered someone to drag away the assassin's corpse. At the same time, he asked worriedly, "Your Highness, what about young Master Li?" Jingwang turned his head and gave the house a look. Wang Shi immediately understood. That's good. That's good. Your Highness, do you want to summon a physician to come take a look? Things were really chaotic just now. Wang Shi was afraid that his master and young Master Li got injured. Jingwang wanted to refuse, but when he thought about how frightened Xiao Yu was, he hesitated for a moment and made a gesture. Wang Shi nodded his head repeatedly. This old servant understands. We will let young Master Li rest for now. We can invite the physician another day. Liu listened through the single wall that separates him from the others. Every time Wang Shi mentioned him, Fish's body would give a little shake. He wasn't present at the scene and didn't know how Jingwang would tell Wang Shi. He could only make guesses based on Wang Shi's replies. Liu listened for a while. In the end, Wang Shi still didn't seem to know that he was Fish. Did Jingwang not tell Wang Shi? Since Jingwang already saw him transform, why didn't he tell Wang Shi? Even though a human changing into a fish was a completely outrageous thought. As long as it was Jingwang who said it, Li Yu felt like Wang Shi would at least believe him. But why would Jing Wang? Li Yu's muddled brain gradually cleared up. The expression that Jing Wang had when he left and the way he gently touched Li Yu's head. It didn't seem like he was angry. Li Yu couldn't help but feel a small amount of hope grow inside his heart. Could it be? Was Jing Wang not angry even after discovering his secret and was even willing to help him cover it up? Otherwise, why would he stop Wang Shi and the others from entering inside? Why would he put fish inside the crystal bottle? His Highness. He didn't think he was some kind of monster. Li Yu was unceasingly apprehensive. Jing Wang swiftly dealt with all of the important matters at hand. First, he made sure that when Li Yu changed into a fish, no one else actually saw it. Fortunately, Jing Wang pushed Li Yu down into the room and covered over him with this body. Other than the assassin that was already dealt with, everyone else was too far away to see anything. Lufeng Town didn't have any major government officials. Once Jing Wang arrived, he naturally held the most authority. The surviving assassins didn't need to be taken elsewhere. They were directly handed over to the imperial guards for interrogation. Of the group of people that Wang Shi brought over to assist, there were 2 squads of imperial guards. The squad leader came over to greet Jing Wang and reported that they were here on orders from the emperor to protect Jing Wang. Rubbing his brows, Jing Wang ordered Wang Shi to first thank these people on his behalf, then help him draft up a report to be sent to the emperor. Since Jing Wang already decided to fight for the throne, the emperor must be informed of this big occurrence. Jing Wang picked out the most crucial matters and quickly dealt with it then. Then he went to find Xiao Yu. Before entering the room, he once again indicated that no one was allowed to enter. Then he stepped through the threshold quietly to look at the fish inside the crystal bottle. Jing Wang just entered the room when he noticed the difference in Xiao Yu. He was no longer disheartened like when Jing Wang had left. Instead, fish voluntarily swam up to greet him, tail wagging flatteringly at him non-stop. So, the Carpio finally thought it through? Smiling, Jing Wang reflexively went to stroke fish's back. Unexpectedly, Li Yu cautiously dodged to the side and hid behind a piece of water grass, sneaking furtive glances at him. Jing Wang knew that Xiao Yu was being nervous and cautious, so he didn't let it bother him. He pulled out a piece of paper that he prepared just now, unfolded it and placed it in a place where fish could see. Li Yu saw the astonishing words written on the paper, "Don't be afraid. Li Yu." Jing Wang handed fish many notes before, got injured for fish before and even saved fish just now. Li Yu suddenly felt somewhat teary. "I'm sorry, Your Highness. Perhaps, I should have told you." The man and the fish looked at each other face to face. Before, in order to do the deed, Li Yu postponed his transformation to nighttime. At that moment, midnight had passed. Li Yu knew that he could change back to a human again. The plan that he painstakingly came up with was now being used to confess the truth. Before, Li Yu was afraid that Jing Wang hated him, so he didn't dare to transform rashly. Now he threw all caution to the wind. The note gave him the courage that he needed. Li Yu poked at the jade fish scale that he used to transform right in front of Jing Wang. Under Jing Wang's gaze, he turned back into a human again. Li Yu hastily wrapped himself in clothes and then said to Jing Wang, "Your Highness, I have something to tell you about myself. About why I can change into a fish, How was he supposed to explain it? Li Yu realized that there was no easy way to explain this matter. Was he supposed to directly tell Jing Wang that he was originally a human, who for some inexplicable reason transmigrated into a fish that was equipped with a system? Not to mention that Jing Wang was actually a character in a certain web novel that he had read previously. Even if Jing Wang could accept a human changing into a fish, he definitely wouldn't be able to accept the fact that he was only a character in a novel. His worldview had already been shaken already. If Li Yu really said the truth, perhaps Jing Wang would, on the contrary, think he was speaking nonsense. It's best not to say anything about the system and the transmigration. Other than this, what else could he say to explain why he could transform into a fish? Liu didn't expect himself to be exposed so suddenly. Nor did he imagine that he'd be so incapable of explaining himself afterwards. He needed to find a reason that Jingwang could accept. Ah! He got it. Liu thought cleverly in this urgent situation. Jingwang personally saw him change into a fish. He definitely would think Liu was a Yao. Despite this, Jingwang still chose to protect him in front of others. This at least indicated that in Jingwang's heart, even after discovering young Master Li was a Yao, Jingwang was still able to accept it. Liu remembered that for a period of time, Jingwang read cultivation books non-stop and loved stories about Yao. He probably benefited from this fortunate instance which made Jingwang readily accept him, who was a suspected Yao. The reason why Jingwang reacted so quickly was also because Jingwang wanted to protect him. Jingwang himself wasn't the type of person who easily lost his composure. If Jingwang also became extremely flustered and had his brain turned to paste just like Liu, Wang Shi and others would have probably discovered everything already. How could this person be so good? Liu suddenly became aware of this point and wanted to cry again. He always felt that Jingwang was already treating him good enough, but then Jingwang would treat him even better. Since Jingwang could accept the concept of a carpiao, then Liu had no need to frustrate over an excuse. He can just pretend to be a carpiao. A system fish and a cultivation fish both can change back and forth between human and fish forms. They shouldn't be too different, right? If he were a carpiao, wouldn't the system be the deist immortal instructing him? And also, doing missions would be considered as practicing cultivation? Everything matched up. Then the reason why he transmigrated, could be, to pass a heavenly tribulation? Only being able to transform for 2 hours a day was because, his cultivation wasn't high enough? Liu felt like everything was becoming clear all at once. Feeling a wave of excitement, he almost started to dance with joy. Jingwang patted him on the hand, wanting him to take his time. Liu more or less went through everything again and then finally said slowly, "Your Highness, I wanted to tell you. Actually I am a carpiao." Jingwang nodded his head accordingly. This matter pertaining to the carpiao, he already knew a long time ago. Liu explained with great embellishment. After he finished speaking, he looked at Jingwang worriedly, afraid that Jingwang would discover that he was lying. He was also afraid that Jingwang might suddenly change his mind and start caring about the fact that Liu was fish. Good thing, Jingwang didn't reveal any hints of disgust. He even held out both arms in response to Liu's random babbling. This meant that Jingwang was willing to accept him, become his support and continued to be his boyfriend. Liu felt really touched. Even he himself couldn't believe his own clumsy explanation. Yet this person actually still chose to believe him. "Your Highness, I won't hurt you. Can we still remain the same as before?" Liu asked, choked with emotions. Jingwang nodded his head. The two of them never changed, so of course everything would remain the same. Liu slowly moved closer, cautiously touching Jingwang little by little with his own body, occasionally observing the other's expression. Seeing that he really didn't mind at all, Liu finally felt completely relieved. Liu almost didn't dare to believe that he managed to get past this ordeal of losing his disguise. Sobbing briefly, he hugged Jingwang's arm and refused to let go. Looking over, there wasn't much sand left inside the hourglass again. Originally, he planned to do the deed with Jingwang, but now it was no longer possible. Nevertheless, Liu didn't want to leave at all. Right now, he had a boyfriend who didn't even mind that he could possibly be a Yao. "Your Highness, I'm a bit tired. I'd like to sleep for a while." The bossy carpiao found a comfortable and warm position in Jingwang's arms and peacefully started snoring. Jingwang kissed him on the forehead and covered him snugly with the blanket. Carrying him and laying down together, Jingwang waited until the sand dripped away inside the silver hourglass. The sleeping person in his arms transformed back into a fish. Jingwang got up and brought fish back into the fish tank. The crystal fish tank wasn't brought over to Lufeng town, however. The silver stone bed and gold silk grass blanket were present. Jingwang placed fish on top of the silver stone bed and then covered fish up with the blanket. Fish continued to sleep soundly, unconsciously extending his tail over and fondly wrapping it around Jingwang's fingers. End chapter.